So at this point, the engine won't start, and I'm reminding Chuck and Scott came over to help us, and both those guys are smart. Um, I remind them that if Insight disconnects when we're cranking, it's disconnecting really because the ECM's going to sleep. So we're wondering if we need to charge our batteries for a while or whatever, so that's what we did. And I also unplugged the power fuse. So here I go plugging in the power fuse slowly. See the arc? And after that arc, we were able to communicate with the ECM again. At this point in time, we can't get it to start, so we shoot a little bit of atomized solvent in to see if the engine is actually capable of starting with fuel in it, and it did. It fired off until the accelerant was gone. Now we know it's mechanically sound. A snapshot of our log cranking. The key was on for 2 seconds before we started cranking, so we started cranking the third line down. And I want you to look at all the values in this chart. Again, the engine was spinning and it would not start. You saw the video that you saw where it wouldn't run. This is the log from it. And we cranked it for a total of 20 seconds. Take a look at all the different columns. See what you think. This is what I was looking at when I was trying to figure out what was going on, what was wrong, why it wouldn't start. In about 10 seconds, you're going to see this with the help markers on it. So if you want to pause here and look at it and think about it or come back to it, that'd be a good idea. Here we go. I've added some of the help markers that you need on this log. First of all, you need to know that the engine operating state and engine stop. It never moved. What did we say causes the engine to jump from engine stop to crank state? Well, pulses or speed input or synchronization of the crank and cam sensor. And if you look at engine speed main, which would be the crank sensor, there's no pulse detected. And engine speed backup, which would be the cam, is no pulse detected. You can see engine speed is 0. Status is engine stopped. So the ECM thinks the engine is sitting there waiting to crank. But look at exhaust gas pressure. It's static at 29.98, and when we start to crank, it goes up. It goes up to 30, 30.01, and it stays up in the 30s while we're cranking. Boost starts at 14.1 when we're not cranking. Why would that be? Oil pressure shows 7 pounds when we're not cranking. Why would that be? Our barometric air pressure is down at 15.5. What in the world's causing that? Rail pressure is crucial. You can see that this is a second crank cycle because we're at 45 seconds. So this engine's fuel system holds fuel pressure very, very well. That's why when we keyed back on after 5 minutes, we still had 16,000 pounds in the rail. So that's okay. So the engine's only commanding 7,000 pounds of fuel pressure because it thinks it's in stop state, and that's the value for key on, no crank. But look what happens to the rail pressure in the measured column. It gets up to 35,121 at one point, and then it drops down to under 6,000 and stays there. Why in the world would it do that? Think about it, and I'll see you next time on Engine Shop Joe for Back to School Part 4.